Hey, what's up, everyone? Ryan Cushman here. Hope you're doing well. Here to do another property analysis for an existing listing that is available for sale for purchase in the North Georgia Mountain Market. I am here to help you find your first or your next short-term rental that's going to help you set yourself up for success and build that generational wealth that we're all looking for and getting after. So today, the property that I want to check out is this property here. It is 400 Molly Circle in Ellijay, Georgia. It is a beautiful 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2,100 square foot new build cabin in the Coosawattee River Coosawattee River Resort. It's really new, really modern. It is blue. It's not my favorite selection color for a short-term rental, but it is good looking. And we have some kind of AI furnishing photos in here. This property would not come furnished, so that's something to keep in mind as you're planning through your budget and your expenses, your setup fees for your setup expenses for this property. But it is beautifully designed and modern finishes. And very spacious. It's got good sized rooms, nice tile bathrooms, some extra space for some entertainment, and beautiful decks. There, I think, is some opportunity to potentially maybe clear out some of the woods here to open up a little bit more of a view, but really good looking property, and it's at a price that I think makes a lot of sense for some profitability. So nice built-in electric fireplace. I'm a big fan of electric over gas or wood burning, just lower that risk of damage and open flames inside properties that you own. I think that's the way to go. So great deck spacing here, modern looking, and I really like this property. In part because it's brand new. I'm a sucker for brand new properties, and also this price point is really great. So let's dig into it a little bit further here. Like I mentioned, it's in the Coosawattee River Resort, which is just a little bit south west of downtown Ellijay, and tons of great stuff around here. Obviously got the river here. Ellijay is known for orchards and pumpkin patches and wineries. 30-40 minutes up the road, you can get to Blue Ridge, and basically anything in this vicinity down to where this property is located is a hot place to invest in short-term rentals. So we do have an HOA here of $131 a month. Not pictured here are some of the community amenities, which include like an entertainment center. I think there are like pool tables and there's an indoor pool. I believe there's an outdoor pool. We've got pickleball, tennis courts going on there as well. So lots of amenities within the Coosawattee River Resort. All right, so if I haven't mentioned it already, which I know I haven't, you can reach out to me at my website, ryancushman.com. I've got a handful of links, some free resources, the ability to book a consultation with me. And we are, as I always do, going to use the free resource that I have on here, the STR Deal Calculator, to analyze this property. So what we're going to do first here is take a look at Rabbu.com. I like to use a couple of different data points to get just a ballpark estimate of where we think this property could do from a revenue standpoint. So I've got plugged in here. I do have a couple of the default filters adjusted where I'm looking at properties that have a minimum of 4 stars. Really, 4 is too low, so I'm actually maybe going to bump that to 4.5. I bumped out the radius to 3 miles, minimum of a few reviews there, and then I also selected a hot tub because we are not going to invest in a place where we don't install a hot tub. Okay, so the average of those parameters is about 34K. That's where you're hitting dead center in the middle of performance. There's a bunch that will perform better than that, and then an equal amount that will perform worse than that. And so we're hitting the middle at 34K gross revenue. Now at that number, we're probably going to be losing a little bit of money. So the goal is not to be average, though. The goal is to be above average, well above average. And so if we were to perform in the 75th percentile of properties in this area with those parameters, we'd be hitting 56, 57K. At that number, we're going to be profiting pretty nicely. So that's encouraging. Another thing I think is worth clicking here just for fun is to see if like an EV charger changes our number here. And it does. There's only 2. So it's a little bit correlation, maybe not so much causation, but the really high-end properties have those EV chargers. So not saying it is going to drive a ton more revenue, but if you want to do like the best out there, you got to do as they do. So an EV charger ultimately isn't going to break the bank either. So I would highly recommend maybe having one of those installed with this property. All right, so these are encouraging numbers. Look at like the top performer or the top properties here. This one is, I think I've seen this one before. It's not new, but it is right on the river. And people that rent in here, if you've got a riverfront property, that's a big advantage. That's a big natural advantage. We don't have that. We are close to the river with this property. So there will be neighborhood accessibility to it, but we are not a property that has direct river or water access. Sorry, flipping over here, this property is pretty awesome, and it's got some really immaculate, modern looking views and looks. So we may not be able to exactly pound for pound compete with this one, but we can certainly copy some of the more modern decor and design aesthetics and apply, just from a furnishing standpoint, and try to compete there a little bit. So certainly to some degree doable to compete a little bit with this property, though we won't be able to have a deck that looks exactly like this with the beautifully lit overhang and covered top deck like that. We don't have that, but we have some similarities to it, and we can certainly design the interior furnishing wise to be similar to this property. So next, I like to check out. Let's close this up here. So let's say this is really kind of giving us an estimate of somewhere between 50 and 70 if we're going to kind of be in the 75th percentile of properties. So let's call it 56, let's call it 55 to 70 is where I think a safe estimate of performance could be for this 400-mile circle. Let's check out PriceLabs estimation tool. I did some similar filtering here where I've got a hot tub. Let's see what the EV charger does for us here. With the current hot tub selection and some performance selections similar to what I've done on Rabbu, we get a range of 30 to 63 with an estimate of 45K. 45K, we are profitable, though not super profitable. So let's see what clicking on an EV charger would do here for us. Yeah, so there aren't very many, as indicated in Rabbu, who have this box checked. But again, it kind of gives us a range of 46 to 72. And let's see what, yeah, so it gives us 4 listings within kind of a 10-mile radius that would check that box for us. I believe this property, yep, this property is that same property I was looking at before on Rabbu as the kind of leader in the space. It's this same one. So PriceLabs estimates that this property is doing somewhere between 80 and 100K. I certainly believe that 400 Molly Circle could compete if managed well. Maybe not hitting 100K, though. You add the right amenities, you add a barrel sauna, or you really make this place out and have like a theater room or whatever. If you go hog wild with some amenities, I think this property could do 100K a year. You'd have to really invest on those top tier amenities though, and stand out from the crowd from that standpoint. Let's see what this property does. Looks like it's in the 48 to 63K range. This property, oh, we got a bad link here. Let's check out this one, 37 to 56. See what that one looks like. Interesting. So Rabbu had this exact same property performing better than what PriceLabs has. So all of this is to say that these tools are imperfect and you have to kind of take them with a grain of salt. You have to really use them as a barometer for directionally correct information, directionally correct estimates on how these properties are going to do and perform. So all that to say, being an investor in this market, I know that there are properties that do this that are not as beautiful and insane looking as this property is. So I know that properties can do big numbers like this. I have a tiny 1-bedroom property that is not this at all, that does nearly 60K, just a few miles away from where this is located. So I know that the demand is there, and that these properties can really push out some big numbers if you're performing in the top 20, top 10% of the market place. So, and it's super easy to do. There's so much mediocrity out there. So let's take a look at our short-term rental calculator. Again, this is a free resource I offer on my website. I've plugged in the purchase price. This assumes we get nothing off the purchase price. This is a newer listing, so it hasn't been on the market too long. It's only not even a month yet. So probably not a ton of downward pressure on it at this point just yet. So I've got interest rates. I've got loan options where you're putting 10 or 20% down. I have built the pro forma, or I've selected in this option where we are going to put 20% down. So the math is based on that. But you can flip between both of them and see what the math looks like in either of those scenarios. I then have the expenses filled out over here, and a couple of scenarios with different average daily rates and approximately the same number of nights occupied in each of these scenarios. So in scenario 1, we're doing just under 40K a year, and we're pretty much just breaking even. So anything less than this, like if we were going to do like 35K, like I mentioned early on in the super average readout from from Rabbu, we're going to be losing a few $100s a month doing that. But in scenario 2, where we are performing quite a bit better, we're in like the 75th percentile of the market in this area, which is 56, 57K. We are profiting about $1,500 a month. That's a home run right there. And which is why I feel like this property is a really great deal, because at that purchase price in this market, with how nice and new it is, minimizing and mitigating your liability expense as far as like systems breaking down, etc. You're under warranty. This is a great buy, and I don't think it's going to be hard to hit these revenue targets. Now, if you stand out in the market and you're really crushing it out there, you've got a ton of great amenities. I don't think 75K is out of the realm of possibility, where you're bringing in 2 to 3, maybe even a little bit more, 3K a month in cash flow, and that's a grand slam right there. So I then have a little bit of a readout here, giving you a high-level view of what those 3 scenarios look like. That's my rundown for today. This ran a little longer than I wanted it to, but if you like this deal or any other properties in the North Georgia Mountain market, or would like to get started in finding one that fits your budget, please reach out to me, ryancushman.com. I would love to connect with you and help you find that property that's going to elevate your situation and get you moving on the path that you want to get on. Real estate is the best asset you can possibly invest in, I think. It's got so many benefits, not including cash flow, tax benefits. Also, this is going to be a nice place just to be able to have and go stay in yourself. So again, would love to help you out. So until next time, appreciate you checking out this video, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.